had troves and troves, thousands of boxes, classified documents from his time as vice president and even as a senator. And boy, when you're a senator and you take classified documents, that's a big deal. I watched Dick Durbin get so angry about it. I said, well, he'll be brought back into the fold eventually. But he went out, and Senator Durbin, he said, you can't, as a senator, take classified documents out of a SCIF. He took them out of a SCIF as a senator. It's unheard of. I spoke to a lot of senators. They said, I don't believe it. A lot of them. Got a lot of them. They didn't believe it. And they come after me. And we had a wonderful operation, everything by the Presidential Records Act. We were talking to NARA. But you know, NARA's radical left. Do you know they have a red flag on the Constitution of the United States and on the Bill of Rights? You know what red flag is? It is a dangerous document. This is where NARA's coming from. And they've done, I would say over the last number of years, very poor job. But they're very, very radical left. So you have to be careful of these people. But they conspire with the FBI, they conspire with, it's just a crazy situation, I mean, that this country goes through. If we could devote the same brilliance to making America great again, to fighting Russia, to fighting China, to fighting all these people that are eating our lunch like China. We did a great job with China. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs from China. Think of it. No other president took in any money, not $2. But many of Biden's documents were in Chinatown, D.C. You know that? You know what Chinatown, D.C. is? That's the real deal. That's the place. And he's getting money based on reports currently. And if the media, the fake news, was doing their job, they'd be earning Pulitzer Prizes, which no longer mean anything. You know, I'm suing the Pulitzer Foundation, you know that, because they gave Pulitzer Prizes to reporters from the New York Times and the Washington Post because of their wonderful and accurate reporting on Russia, but they were wrong. In fact, the Durham report just said how wrong they were, but they were. But we knew that even before the Durham report. Many of them have already conceded the fact that they were wrong. And they have Pulitzer Prizes. We want those prizes taken back, and we want them maybe reissued to other people like Greg Jarrett, like John Solomon, like all these people that actually did call it right. They were real reporters. They really did a great job, but they have to take those back, and so we're suing them. And we're suing them for damages because they're libeling me by saying that these people continue to have the Pulitzer Prize. That means they're saying that the story of Russia, which even the papers themselves have now admitted is a hoax, that's libeling me because they're saying that it continues to exist. So let's see what happens with that, but we have to bring back our country. We have to bring back sanity into our country. You know, the media is so important. They could straighten things out so badly, so quickly. Look, if 15 years ago, they're like a policing agent, they should be. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, if somebody said that somebody was taking money from China and from Ukraine and from all these other places, tens of millions of dollars, they would all be rushing to try and get the story. Woodward and Bernstein, I'm not a fan of either one, actually. I got to know them, major sleazebags, but, you know, Woodward looks like such a wonderful guy. He's absolutely the worst. What sleazebags? Oh, poor Richard Nixon, he had to put up with them, but I got my own problems with these people. But Woodward's a sleaze. Bernstein, I don't know, but he looks pretty bad to me. I don't know Bernstein. I heard he was the poorer of the two. He seemed to be that. He's a nasty person, though. For a person that doesn't know me, I don't think I ever met him, but if I did, it was quick. But he's a nasty guy. But they're all nasty because they're deranged. But we have to have our great media be policing agents so that things like this can't happen. Because, you know, there is no scandal without press. If the press refuses to write that Joe Biden got $5 million, and a lot of other things are coming out this week, then there can't really be a scandal when you think of it, right? There can't be. Jamie Comer and Jim Jordan have been incredible, and their committees. But it's amazing that they sometimes say to me, not the two individuals, but people in the committees and people in Congress. We were talking about it just a little while ago with a few congressmen. We have stuff that's so earth-shaking. And you put out the announcement, and you think it's going to be headlines in the New York Times and the Washington Post and every paper and every ABC, which is real fake. I call it ABC fake news, NBC fake news, CBS fake news. But you put it, or I put fake in front of every one of them. And nobody can say it's not. It's like they're coordinated. They're totally coordinated. They use a word, like they had a word not so long ago, manufactured. The votes are manufactured. Every station said the same thing. It's never been used in politics before. Nobody ever said votes are manufactured. Every one of them. We want to report that the votes have been manufactured. You turn to the next one, ABC. The votes have been manufactured. It's like somebody sends them a memo what to say. But if they were honest, our country would be in such great shape. Amazing. But they're not. It's no coincidence they indicted me the very same day it was revealed that the FBI hid explosive evidence that Joe Biden took a $5 million illegal bribe from Ukraine. Now, this is done. I haven't read anything about it. This would have been the biggest story in history 10 years ago. Walter Cronkite would have reported it, and he was on the liberal side, to put it mildly, but he would have made this the biggest story. But we don't have Walter Cronkite anymore, do we? The Walter Cronkites and the great ones are gone. Right as they're closing in on Hunter and Joe Biden, they want me to put up with this form of retribution like nobody's ever seen before. But it's okay because the public is smart. It's amazing how smart the public is. I go through the town. I was always doing well, and people liked me, and we did great with the, all the votes we got, the most ever for sitting president. But I was doing great. I've never had receptions. We just left Georgia, and we had a room that was, they've never had anything like it. And there were thousands and thousands of people outside trying to get in for the Republican chairman's lunch. Not normally the biggest thing. Now, because Michael is so outstanding, of course, this is a big deal. But you've never seen the streets, tremendous crowds at the airport waiting, the airport being very far away from the venue where it was, people all along the roadway. And this is not really campaign season. People are disgusted with what's going on in our country. They want America back. They want America back. So I've been predicting this for a long time, just like I did with LIV, LIV Golf. I told the players, take the money. They're all calling me, say, thank you very much. Should I take $185 million? Say, yeah, take it. But sir, that means I have to leave the tour. Don't worry about it. Take it, because three things are going to happen. They're going to merge, which I predicted they would, and it was nice. They actually covered me very well. They said it was really good. But they're either going to merge or they're going to be successful. In one case, got $185 million. Great one, Dustin. Great player, Dustin Johnson. Brooks Koepka. These guys, they're great. But, lots of others were offered hundreds of millions of dollars. They said no, and now there's a merger. And I actually made the statement. I said, if there's a merger and you don't take the money, you're going to have a lot of very unhappy golfers out there. And you have a lot of very unhappy golfers out there. But it was exactly as I said. But I called this one too. And I said that Hunter will probably be charged with some minor offense like jaywalking, so that the FBI and the DOJ can pretend that they're fair. Oh, we got Hunter. So while they're going after me under the Espionage Act, that's like the creation of missiles in your basement. They got him for nothing. And there's never been a more corrupt group of people in the history of our country running this country, where somebody sits on a board, gets $83,000 a month, a $3 million upfront payment. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And in all fairness, was interviewed on one of the shows on Maine television. I call it Maine. Used to be Sirius television. Now it's Maine television. But he said, no, I don't know why they paid me so much. Do you have expertise, sir, in oil and gas? It's an oil and gas company. No, I really don't. Do you know anything about it? No. Then why are they paying you $83,000 a month and $3 million in upfront payments? And we think it's actually more than that. But these are corrupt people. These are corrupt. He had no answer. He had no answer. The money laundering, the ignoring bribery, and the other massive crimes, they all implicate crooked Joe Biden. See how good that name works? Because, you know, Hillary's now finished, let's assume, although she's probably going to try and make a comeback. After this speech, she'll probably try, but I don't think she'll be very successful. But she was